Hello, welcome into the Third Flame Tarot. My name is Amber. Thank you so much for being here. I am thrilled to have you. Now, this is going to be a whatever comes out reading, and I love doing these readings. I go into meditation without any pretense, no questions, no nothing, just a blank slate, and let whatever comes through come through. Now, my meditation today was pretty clear, though, what this reading was going to be about. And that is specifically for those of us out there that might be going through some kind of a heartbreak. Now, I'm not sure what kind of a heartbreak. There's many different forms of heartbreak, but it was clear through my meditation that this spirit wanted to comfort or console somebody who may be going through a really difficult emotional period. So the first thing I see when I drop into meditation today is a body, and this is quite typical. I don't see faces, and I think that that's because Spirit doesn't want me to overly fixate on a face or an individual. But I saw a body, and it was a nude body, a very androgynous nude body. And they had cuts all over themselves. And I saw them holding a needle and a thread in the right hand, and they were stitching up one of the wounds that was on their left arm. So their whole body was covered in these wounds, and they were stitching themselves back up again. Now, this is incredibly symbolic because clearly this could be symbolism for an emotional wound, emotional trauma. It could be physical trauma as well. You'll just have to take what resonates for you within the story. But it was clear that this person was very wounded. But the good news is they were all pretty superficial. It's not to say that they weren't painful, but they were able to heal. So a needle and a thread can symbolize the need for mending or repairing relationships. It can also be related to situations. It's about healing and releasing emotional wounds. It can also symbolize the need for patience and dedication. Then as that scene faded out and went hazy, the next thing I see are squares, and they were just black squares against a white background, and I watched 4 squares match up with each other. So 4 squares, not really sure, maybe that means something for somebody out there, but I mean, the square is a very stable shape, right? It's a very stable shape. In astrology, the fixed signs are known as the stabilizers, and they're shaped on the zodiac wheel in the shape of a square. Whoever might resonate with this story could be a fixed sign, which is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Then the next thing I hear is, I don't see anything, but I heard auditorily Manitoba, and I didn't even know what Manitoba was. I had to look it up after I came out of meditation. But Manitoba, I thought actually that it was some kind of animal at first, like I'm not very good at geography, but I thought it was some kind of animal like a manatee or something like that. But Manitoba is actually a province in Canada, and I took down some notes about this. So Manitoba is a province of central Canada, rich in quartz crystals. So it was well known and mined for its quartz crystals. It's also, in its history, known for being a place of war because the Europeans migrated down into the Hudson Bay, what's now called the Hudson Bay of Manitoba, Canada. And there was a war there between the French and the British. So they called this war, and it was a war for the land, and they called this war the 7 Years' War. and it was fought between 1754 and 1763. Now, Great Britain obviously won, and after their victory in 1763, they secured the territory. And then there's a whole nother story. I'll let you go check it out if you're interested more in Manitoba and what it is. There could be a message within there. Like, I wouldn't take it so face value. Spirit likes to communicate in puzzles sometimes. So go look up Manitoba. If you're not from Manitoba, go look up Manitoba on Wiki and just read some more about it, because there could be a message in there for you. Now, something I got out of reading the history is there was the 7 Years' War, and then there was another war that had the number 7 in it. And the number 7 is a deeply spiritual number. Some of the characteristics of a number 7 are spirituality, or seeking a deeper understanding of the universe. It's a curious number in numerology. It's very analytical and solitary at times. One of the biggest learning lessons for somebody with a life path number 7 is learning about relationships and how they work. The number 7 can be a very vulnerable number, but I would say the most prominent characteristic of the number 7 is a deep spirituality. It's a very deep spiritual number. It's associated with God. I mean, there are 7 colors in the rainbow, 7 scales in a musical notes. There are 7 days in a week. The number 7 is very, very spiritual. So any of this could resonate with you. The number 7, maybe that's your life path number. Maybe you were born on the 7th of a month. Maybe you're a fixed sign born on the 7th of a month. Just, use your own intuition and interpret this how you see fit. But one more cool thing about the number 7 in tarot, the Chariot is the number 7 in the major arcana, and the Chariot is all about movement. It's about moving forward and exploring new territory. It's also associated with Cancer, which is a very emotional sign, and it's all about familial harmony and balance and fulfillment within the home and relationships. Now, the last thing I saw within my meditation, and this was where I knew that this was going to be about a matter of the heart, because in the last part of my meditation, I watched a white lotus slowly bloom, and at the center of the white lotus was a bleeding, beating heart. Now, this is pretty clear symbology. The lotus flower is known throughout many cultures as being a flower of purity and spiritual awakening. It's all about personal growth and is known as the divine beauty. It's known for its divine beauty. It also symbolizes transformation and rebirth. And then, of course, the bleeding heart, that's, again, very clear symbology. It's emotional pain or strong emotions. A bleeding heart is associated with pain, emotional pain. So that's what I saw within my meditation today. Now let's get into the reading. Yeah, it was definitely the feeling that I got coming out of that meditation was one of pain for sure, emotional pain, trauma, sadness. But there was also a lot of hope within the meditation, because I saw the individual sewing up their wounds. And then the lotus, of course, is about transformation, growth, and rebirth. It's about spiritual awakening. And then the reappearance of the number 7 when I was doing my research into Manitoba was it stood out to me, because the 7 is about spiritual awakening as well. So there was a lot of spiritual awakening energy there. It's about learning from experiences and growing from them. That's definitely the overall feeling I got when I came out of meditation. It was somber, yes, but it was also beautiful in a way because I could sense that there was a lot of spiritual growth, a lot of thinking, contemplating, and seeking for deeper meaning within the experience. All right, Spirit, we're here to get an energy reading for whoever this story belongs to. What do you have to tell us about the bleeding heart and the wounded person sewing up their wounds? Yeah, the wounds in my meditation, they were all like not super deep, but they were clearly bleeding, and none of them were really, really big. They were all probably like maybe 2 or 3 inches long. And so that to me shows that that these wounds, you'll be able to heal from them. If this story already resonates with you, you're going to be able to heal from them. But it's going to take some introspection. It's going to take some introspection. But it's all a beautiful part of the divine plan. When we go through these heartbreaking situations, they're really there to teach us. The pain is a catalyst for our own expansion and growth. And that's beautiful. When you can understand that it's all for your growth, your spiritual evolution, then you see it in a different way. You see it almost through the eyes of gratitude or appreciation for the experience, because there are things that you wouldn't learn unless you go through really painful, emotionally painful situations. It can teach you things about yourself that you just wouldn't have learned if you didn't go through what you went through. All right, Spirit, what else can you tell us about this meditation? What else can you tell us about this story? Can I get 3 base cards, please? One more shuffle. All right, 3 base cards. Page of Swords. Ace of Swords. And the 9 of Swords. Ooh, I just got tingles on the back of my head. Look at all these swords. Wow. So this is the swords is the air element, and Libra sits in the 7th house, and Libra is associated with air. But the swords are the air element. It's mental, it's thought. It is associated with the number 7 as well, because the number 7 is known for being a very analytical number. It's all about thought. It's your thought process. It's coming to a conclusion through thinking. Now, the first card out is the Page of Swords. And yeah, the swords also are associated with conflict, right? So there's clearly a mental conflict here, a mental challenge. The Page of Swords is about preparing for a battle or beginning before a big event. If you look on this card, there are people jumping off a diving board into a pool. It's like going off the deep end, right? It's jumping, it's being brave and jumping, off a cliff, jumping off of a diving board. It's a long drop, right? It's a long fall. And you might feel like you're just falling right now. But I feel like this battle, I mean, the pages are, they're the more immature, they're the learners, they're the youngest of the court cards. So you might be a young person, or you could feel like an amateur in this experience. You could feel like you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, you don't know what to think, you're feeling all these feelings, you're mentally I don't want to say challenged, you're mentally going over and over again in your head. You're trying to make sense of the situation. Trying really hard to make sense of the situation. And with the Ace of Swords here next, that is shocking energy. It's a shocking, something happened very suddenly for you and you felt like you were falling. Something came out of the blue, out of nowhere, out of left field, and it really shook you up. If you look on this card, there's a person and the sword is up here. And the sword, if you notice, is basically coming down from the sky. It's like God intervened. This was a divine situation. It was divinely orchestrated. And you may not have even played a part in this, but it was very sudden. It was sudden and shocking. But the Ace of Swords is also about clarity, too. So you might be seeking this clarity. You might be seeking the truth about the situation. But this whole, whatever you're going through right now is mentally taxing for you. You might feel absolutely exhausted and tired and strained and weak in a way from this experience that you went through. Because the next card out is the Nine of Swords, which is the need to wake up to a certain situation, but it also represents anxiety, pain, sleepless nights, not insomnia. You know, in the traditional Rider-Waite, there is a person sitting on a bed in the middle of the night and it's dark and there are the 9 swords on the wall, but underneath the bed is the Ace of Swords, the sword of truth. And you may feel like the truth is there. The clarity you're looking for, it's there. It's right under your nose. It's right under the bed. But you just haven't come to this realization yet. You haven't fully understood the situation yet, and it's been absolutely mentally draining and taxing for you. I'm hearing battle of the wits. It's like, yeah, you look on this card, there's the train coming, but the train tracks, if you look closely, are made out of swords. So that's a lot of conflict. That's a lot of mental anguish and turmoil. And you might feel like just hopping out in front of a train. This might be really, really, really hard for you. But please know that if it's really challenging, if you're going through something that's really emotionally challenging, it means that there is a really big epiphany coming. If you just keep trying to sort it out and figure it out and, spiritually realize or recognize what the lesson in this is, then you have this clarity is right here waiting for you. There is a big lesson within this that you are meant to learn. And it's up to you to use your own intuition. I mean, we can consult the cards, but the cards are just a mirror. They're just a mirror to reaffirm what you already know. And that's exactly what the Nine of Swords is about. You already know. The truth is under the bed. It's right there underneath your nose. But you just can't see it right now. You just can't see it. Let's get some more cards. All right, Spirit. Okay. Spirit's telling me to pick up the Moonology, then that card fell out. Oh, look what it is. The Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. That's resistance. Resistance to a change. Resistance to... The Wheel of Fortune is about karma. It's about things you really cannot control. It's part of the divine plan. It is a major arcana card, which is a big event. This has been a really big event where, like a mile marker on your experience, in your experience. This is a big mile marker, and it looks already to me like you might be in a lot of resistance to this. I mean, the Nine of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Yes, you're in resistance to this change, this big change in your life. But what you resist persists, and that's so true. Spirit was telling me to pick up the Moonology deck really quick before we pull some more out of the tarot. All right, Spirit. Why did you want me to pick up the Moonology deck for the collective? What else do you have to tell us? Yeah, you know, the Ace of Swords can also be used as a weapon. I mean, it is a sword after all. Yeah, there may have been some kind of big heated battle. You know, when I'm looking at the first card that came out too, the Page of Swords, if I like jump into the picture, there's definitely a feeling of anticipation, a feeling almost of anxiety or fear. Because if you look, they're so high up off the ground, high above the water. So there's like a feeling of diving off the deep end, a feeling of maybe fear, a bit of fear, as you dive into the unknown. Yeah. You know, it's about doing it gracefully though, right? You don't want to belly flop off the diving board. That's gonna hurt really bad. You know, when you're falling, try to see if you can dive gracefully as you fall. All right, Spirit. What else do you have to tell us about this story? Let's get one more shuffle. Goes on top. All right, what else for this story, please? Falling moon. Look at that. We were just talking about falling, jumping off the diving board, going into the deep end. We've got falling moon. And remember in my meditation, I saw the squares. And this says release blocks. So those squares in my meditation could actually have been blocks. Like you might be blocked at the moment. And you need to focus on releasing your blockages. Yeah, there's definitely a blockage here. There's a resistance to whatever happened. There's a deep, profound resistance to whatever happened to you. And Spirit is asking you here to work on releasing that resistance, to surrender to the experience. You know, that's like something that I would say if somebody asked me, what is the most valuable technique you've learned in your spiritual life, your spiritual learning and evolution, the biggest thing I've learned is how to release resistance, how to surrender to the experience. Because there are things that we can control, but there are also things that we can't. They're just part of the divine plan for us to experience. And it's for our own expansion and growth, always. That's just how it is. We're in spiritual university, and there are things that are happening that are really hard, really challenging, but they're there. They're there to teach us things. So the one thing that I would like, if I could take that, just that one little thing, if I could take one little thing back in time with me, I mean, I don't have any regrets, and I wouldn't change a thing that I've gone through in my life. But if I could have learned one thing a bit sooner, it would have been that, to release resistance to certain scenarios and situations that you find yourself in. Because we don't really know. There's no way we can't see the future. That is hidden from us. We can try and predict it. We can try and read the energy, but there's no telling what the future holds because of free will. Releasing resistance, releasing the blocks, and surrendering is such a beautiful and calming state of being. It puts you, if you can just surrender, it puts you into a state of serenity and acceptance and trust in the universe and in God and the higher power. It's such a beautiful tool and technique to have. And one thing that really helped me learn that actually was yoga, practicing yoga. Because when you're in a really difficult pose and you need to stay in that pose and hold it through the pain, you have to push through the uncomfortableness that you might be in while you're stretching. But you not necessarily push yourself, but you surrender to the experience. You surrender to the sensation that you're going through. And this is going to help you evolve and become stronger as a yogi, become more limber as a yogi. And this is true spiritually and mentally speaking as well. If you surrender to the certain experiences, it's going to make you not only stronger, but more limber and able to handle situations differently in the future and better and more positively and calmly in the future. I would love to read this for you out of the booklet. Falling Moon. I love that the falling moon came out right here with the Page of Swords, and we have people jumping off of a diving board. Falling. Yeah, you're definitely having a feeling of falling off into the deep end. Okay, the falling moon. Release blocks. Here we go. The falling moon, number 42. Something about your situation is blocked. There could be some repressed emotions swirling around your current situation that need to be released. Anger, in particular, could be blocking you now. This is a problem because emotions are like the water as you ride the river of life. Look, emotions are like the water. Yeah, you're diving off the deep end into your emotions, the deep, dark depths of your emotions. But I'm telling you, that's where the gems lie. There's gold there, treasure within the depths of your emotions. There's treasure there. Anger in particular could be blocking you now. This is a problem because emotions are like the water as you ride along the river of life. Block your emotions, and it is as though the river has dried up. So you can no longer cruise or drift or even lurch forward. You are stuck. We don't like a straight answer to our questions, But sometimes that answer is inside of you. Exactly. Sometimes that answer is inside of you, and you need to release all that rubbish that is blocking the answer from surfacing. This card reminds you to practice self-care and to process your emotions. It's a myth that being strong and silent is healthy. It's actually healthier to allow yourself to express your emotions. And that might be exactly what you need to do right now as a response to your current situation. If you believe that insecurity on your part is currently holding you back from success, this card is a reminder that only you can work on yourself. Additional meanings for the card. Be honest about your feelings. Take anger management lessons. Breath work will help you now. Ask someone older than you for advice. And you've lost your way and need to recalibrate. The image of the moon falling is a scary one. And in some ways, the image of the moon falling is a scary one in some ways, because without the moon, the Earth spins out of orbit. Similarly, without processing our feelings, we can also spin off of our path. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of resistance already in this reading. And perhaps you don't really process your emotions. You know, anger is just a surface level emotion. It is surface to what's deep down within that anger, the root of the anger. And the root of the anger always comes from a place of powerlessness, like something that you can't control, something that you couldn't control happened. And this instills a sense of powerlessness. But why do you feel the desire to control the situation? You know, I feel like sometimes, and I know this is true in my experience as well, sometimes we have to just understand that there is a higher power and a divine plan. And just understanding that really helps relieve a lot of those emotions, a lot of those feelings of resistance and anger for what happened. You know, everybody's on their own journey, their own path, you know. And if you're angry at a particular person for maybe what they did to you or how the scenario played out between you and other people, if you're angry at them, see it from a different perspective, like a third person perspective. Take a step back and see and ask yourself, if I was an angel, if I was God, why would I make this happen in somebody's life? There's always a reason for everything. And sometimes, most of the time, we have no idea what that reason is until later because we can't see the future. Nobody can. You can get little glimpses of it or premonitions or intuition, but only the higher power knows exactly what's going to happen. Only the divine plan knows exactly what's going to happen. All right, can we get one more card out of the Moonology, please? Cold Moon, face your fears. That is a lot like this card too. Look, jumping off the deep end, facing your fear. Like, remember I was telling you, the feeling I got off this card was definitely one of fear. There was definitely fear and anxiety there. And that fear might be stemming from facing your own emotions, facing how you really feel, and feeling the hurt, feeling the pain, allowing yourself to go through that pain, facing it, not ignoring it or trying to do things to mask it, cover it. People do all kinds of things to cover up their emotions, to not face their own fears and their anxieties. I mean, that's how people end up in addictions. You know, it's an attempt to mask the fear, but the only way through it is through it. The only way to get to the other side is by going straight through it. You have to face it. You have to turn and face it. That's the only way you're going to get to the other side. The only path there is through. I mean, you can try and divert yourself as long as you want, but you're going to be on a really long detour and you're going to waste a lot of time. When you feel deep feelings like this and emotional turmoil and trauma, the best thing you can do is turn around and face it and really ask yourself why you're feeling how you feel. Also, you know, getting somebody to talk to can really be helpful, whether that's a therapist or a really good friend or a family member, somebody that you can talk to about how you're feeling and be totally honest about your feelings, you know? If it's anger that you're feeling, then express that in a healthy way, get it out, you know? And then you'll find when you release that surface level emotion and you go deeper, you find the root of your problem, and it could be linked to trauma, past trauma. It could be linked to a feeling of powerlessness or a feeling of inadequacy. It's up to you to really go deep. It's up to you to find out and ask yourself those questions. Where is this coming from? Why am I in so much resistance to this experience? Cold moon, face your fears. Number 28. All right, cold moon, face your fears. Right now, you're being asked to face a fear. You may feel alone, but you're not. You have a team of celestial beings loving you and guiding you. Oh, I just got chills. Whew, I always get the tingles on the back of my head. During my meditation today, I felt celestial beings all around me, and I kept getting the chills, and I was like, So before I go into meditation, I use my singing bowl and I close my eyes and I kind of just visualize cleansing my space, cleansing the energy. And while I was doing that, I felt absolutely surrounded, and I've got the tingles all over my scalp and on my arm. And it felt like there were definitely beings here, and there was odd sounds like all around me, crackling noises. The house was crackling. There was just, it seemed like there was movement all over the place, and it was really hard for me to keep my eyes closed. But I feel like this, when spirit comes through in these readings, they come through because they know that I'm an open channel, and whatever needs to come through will come through. And the beings, your celestial guides and beings, they're going to come through to help bring this message to you. They know that you'll be watching this. They know, and they're looking for a channel, and you can channel that too. All the time, you can talk to your spirit team. They're there. They want to talk to you, but you have to be open to it, and you have to be able to see the world through their eyes, which is symbolism. They work through symbology and synchronicity. So don't dismiss those synchronistic experiences that you might have in a day. You know, don't dismiss the feelings that you get, your own intuition. I think we do that a lot. I think most all of us, myself included, question our own intuition way too much. And we need to trust more in that and believe that there are absolutely spirit teams out there just for you, guided. They're there to help you along on your journey. And they're definitely here in this reading. And this is confirmation that what I was feeling before my meditation today is For real. Okay. You may feel alone, but you are not. You have a team of celestial beings loving you and guiding you. However, at the moment, it may be that you need to stand on your own 2 feet more and face whatever fear is stopping you from moving forward. You need to do things on your own right now because you're in a period of soul growth. The lotus flower, that's about transformation and personal growth. So is the number 7. Whatever is challenging you right now is something that you need in order to evolve, however hard that may be to believe. Be super kind to yourself and know that you're still connected to the 3-dimensional who knows that everything. Be super kind to yourself and know that you're still connected to the 3-dimensional you who knows that everything now is happening for your highest good. Know this, understand this, feel this. The more we resist a lesson, the harder life has to work to show us what we're meant to see. The harder we resist a lesson, the harder life has to work to show us what we're meant to see. This card in the reverse, all about resistance. Yeah, you're in resistance to this lesson. Hardcore. And Spirit is here with the sword of truth, trying to teach you, trying to tell you what it is you need to learn. Go silent, go introspective. This answer is here. It's right under the bed, like I was talking about. The answer is right there. But Spirit is saying here that you need to figure this out on your own. You need to figure out what it is that you need to learn. Sometimes we want all the answers, but that would be way too easy. You would never learn anything if we were just given all the answers, right? It's like taking a test. If somebody just gave you the answers to all the questions, would you have studied so hard? Probably not. Most likely not. So it says, if you can push through the fear now, you'll come out on the other side a completely changed person. The whole universe is on your side. Additional meanings for the card. A health matter can improve. Rebalance your chakras. Find someone you can trust to share your situation with. There it is again about expressing your emotions and sharing your story. Be kinder to yourself and others, and stop being so stubborn. At times we may feel alone, even though in truth we still have a team of celestial beings surrounding us and cheering us on. You're not alone. You're not alone, no matter how much you feel alone. No matter how much you feel alone. You're not. You're definitely not. Your spirit team is there. They're cheering you on and guiding you through. But they might be stepping back right now to help you, to give you the space that you need in order to figure this out on your own a little bit. Okay. All right, Spirit, what else do you have to tell us about this story? What else do you have to tell us? What happened to my viewer? What happened in their experience? What happened? Get 2 more shuffles. Wow, that wanted to come out. And the devil is right behind it. The 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Something did not come to fruition here. You might have worked really hard and invested in something. Invested emotionally and even monetarily. You know, you might have had shared finances with someone or helped them financially, and this did not go as planned at all. It's like the Seven of Pentacles in reverse to me is a feeling of being a farmer, tilling the soil, watering the plants, planting the seeds, making sure that all the plants are doing well, giving them love. But then, like, nothing happens. You get a bad season where it's too hot and the sun burns all the plants, or you get a season where it's too rainy and the plants drown. It's like, it's that kind of a feeling. Something did not come to fruition. And, you know, it's hard to give up on something. You don't want to give up. You want to keep trying sometimes, but sometimes you have to just accept that it wasn't meant to be, and there's a reason for that. All right, last shuffle. Okay, Spirit, what else can you tell us about this story? What else can you tell us? Thank you. The Two of Pentacles. Imbalance. Okay, what else? Five of Cups. Yeah. It feels like you were really struggling to keep something afloat. There was something you were really trying hard at to like keep balanced, keep afloat, keep working, you know, and it felt like you're struggling to keep the balance. You might have felt very overwhelmed, especially in the end, you know, the feeling of imbalance just got stronger and stronger and stronger until a Five of Cups happened, where there's now sadness and regret, sorrow, depression. You know, if you look in this card, there's a figure here looking at 3 spilt cups. And the 3 of Cups in the tarot is about celebration, happiness, joy, camaraderie, party. It's this very celebratory, you know what I mean. It's a very happy and joyful card, the 3 of Cups. But look, they're spilt, they're toppled over, and this person is very sad. Something that brought you a lot of joy and happiness in your life did not work out. It didn't work out. The cups are spilt. But there's something really important to notice about this card, is that there are 2 cups behind the figure here. Balance, joy, and harmony is hidden from you. You're not focusing on it, just like the 9 of Swords. What Spirit is trying to say here, I know this isn't the Rider-Waite, but like I said, on the Rider-Waite, the Ace of Swords is hidden under the bed. The figure in the picture can't see it. Again, the figure in the picture can't see it. What Spirit is trying to reiterate here is that there are reasons that you cannot comprehend. There is a reason why this happened, and it's because you have something better coming in. You have another experience coming in. Something else that you can't see is in your energy. The 2 of Cups in the tarot is about balance and harmony. It's about love, reciprocity, and soulmate connection. So I feel like and look, the 2 of Pentacles too. So look, we've got the 2s here and the 2s here. The 2s in the tarot and in numerology always represent a decision. It's a crossroads, right? It's where 2 roads meet. And that's where you're at right now. You're really at a crossroads. And you have a decision to make. You need to decide on how long you want to sit in 5 of Cups energy. How long do you want to sit looking at the 3 spilt cups? I know you don't want to sit there long. I know you don't want to sit there long. And it's really important to process your emotions, but there also comes a point where you border on wallowing. And wallowing I mean, it serves its purpose in a way, but it definitely keeps you from progressing. And to get out of a state of wallowing in depression, you have to surrender to the higher power. You have to surrender to the idea that there are just things you can't see working behind the scenes that are working out for you. They are. They absolutely are. Spirit, can you tell us more about the Five of Cups? Why is the Five of Cups here? Can you tell us more? Why is the Five of Cups here? Why is the Five of Cups here? Can you tell us more about the Five of Cups? The Ten of Swords. Look at that. The Ten of Swords and the King of Wands. Okay. Okay. Now, this is a king, but take it as it resonates. It could be a feminine energy you're dealing with or a masculine energy. It doesn't really matter. Don't get hung up on the gender of the card. The King of Wands is a very manipulative king in reverse. The King of Wands in reverse is a very manipulative king. He's very arrogant and boisterous and demanding and can have a really bad temper. And then the Ten of Swords, well, if you look at this card in the upright, that's ultimate pain. Ultimate pain. Being stabbed in the back 10 times, that's the worst imaginable pain. To me, the Ten of Swords hurts even more than the Three of Swords. They're both equally as painful, but the Ten of Swords is the end, the dead end. It's the B end. It's the last card of the suit. It is ultimate pain, ultimate betrayal, just complete agony. And we've got the Ten of Swords here and the Nine of Swords. Look at all these swords. This is a lot of mental turmoil and anguish. But the thing about this, though, is it came out in the reverse. It popped out in the reverse, which means whatever happened has already happened. And now you're in a state of healing, right? Remember my meditation? I saw the person with wounds all over their body. Look, this person has wounds all over their body. They're stabbed in multiple places. That's exactly what I saw. I saw somebody who looked like they'd been stabbed in multiple different places. But the Ten of Swords here in the reverse is this has already happened and now the swords are sliding out of your back. This is calming down and now you have to go inward and introvert and figure out the situation mentally, logically, with all these swords here. It's going to be a thought. The thought, changing your mind, changing your thoughts are what's going to get you through this. Changing your perception is what's going to get you through this. Can I get one more card? The Moon. Look, the Moon. That's your fears, your deep subconscious, the darkness, your dark side, your emotions. It's very emotional. It's associated with water. That's a lot of moon energy here. The moon can also symbolize your intuition. Spirit is definitely encouraging you to go within and to start really thinking about things in a more third party perspective. Like, take a step away emotionally and view the situation from a more logical perspective. I know that's easier said than done, but try to disassociate for a little while and just step back and try to see things from your higher perspective, your higher self's perspective. Use your intuition and face your fears. I mean, face your fears. Cold moon is here. Face your fears. Spirit, can I get more about this situation and what happened, please? What else can you tell us? Okay. So then, oh my God. Oh my God. Look it. There's more swords. Look at all these swords. Oh my God. This was big. This was a really big conflict. This was big. This was like I said, a turning point in your life, a crossroads, a big crossroads, a mile marker in your experience. This was something really big. And I feel like, I mean, the Seven of Swords, that's lies and deceit. But it can be internal in the reverse, though. Like, you might be lying to yourself about your own. It feels like you're lying to yourself about if you can get through this. You might be telling yourself, there's no way I can get through this. I want to lay in front of a train like this. Don't do that. Don't do that. You definitely can get through this. You can get through this. And you're going to have to learn to surrender and go calm and peaceful and call upon your higher power. Those celestial beings that are there to help you and guide you. They're there. They're absolutely there. But we've got the Nine of Swords again. So that's the Nine of Swords has come out twice in this reading. But here the Nine of Swords is in reverse. This feels to me, because it came out in the upright here and the reverse here, this feels like 24-hour torture, 24-hour mental anguish. And we also have the Nine of Cups in the reverse. So that's more Seven of Pentacles energy to me. It's more of things did not manifest. Things did not turn out the way you wanted. The Nine of Cups in the upright is about a wish fulfillment. That wish was not granted. Not this time. But there's a reason for that. This is gearing you up for the real thing. You have to become prepared for when the real thing comes in. For when your wish finally manifests, you need to be in the right mental state. You need to be in the right spiritual state in order to receive it. So right now you're going through boot camp. You're going through spiritual boot camp. And the divine is trying to make you stronger. You know, it's like with exercise. You have to experience pain in order to get stronger. No pain, no gain is the saying. I know that's hard to hear when you're in a lot of emotional turmoil. But the pain is meant to make you stronger. And it's up to you what perspective you want to take on everything. On if you're going to wallow in this and let it destroy you, or if you're going to become stronger from it and keep going back to that gym, keep doing those exercises, working towards becoming stronger and healthier, bigger, better, stronger. That's what Spirit's trying to do for you right now. Spirit is trying to make you bigger, better, stronger. And you can't do that without a little, sometimes a lot of pain. You know, if you're feeling this right here, if you're feeling overwhelming Nine of Swords, wanting to lay in front of a train kind of energy, please ask for help. Please ask someone for help. Talk to somebody. It will help you feel better. I always put my email in the video description. If you have nobody else to talk to that you can really trust, please just email me. I would love to help you and talk to you. But you are stronger than you know. Spirit wants you to know that. You are stronger than you give yourself credit for. You are so much stronger than you give yourself credit for. And this, you don't want to make a permanent decision based on a temporary emotion. And emotions are fleeting. They will come and they will go, and you have to ride them like a wave. You know, one of my favorite Buddhist sayings is, you may become a master surfer. You may learn how to surf any wave in the world. But even though you become a master surfer, it doesn't mean the waves don't stop coming. There's always going to be trials and challenges in our human experience. That's part of what we're here to do. It's spiritual boot camp, baby. It's spiritual boot camp. But if you choose to look at it in that light and recognize that you're here to learn, and you strap on your boots and you tie your laces nice and tight and you stand up tall and you say, I am strong. I can handle this. God would not give me anything that I couldn't handle. Yeah. You can do this. You can. You can do it. You know, the 9 of Cups in the reverse too, for me sometimes can mean that there was alcohol involved. It's an overly, too much partying. So this can mean that part of your emotional turmoil, if you're reaching for the bottle to cover up your emotions, to cover your pain, just know that that's going to just dig you a deeper hole. It really is. It might cover up your emotions right now in this moment. But at some point, you're going to have to face them, or you're going to have to go down the rabbit hole of destruction. Nothing good will come out of alcoholism or using any kind of substance to cover up your own emotion. It's going to make it worse. It's going to amplify it. You're going to have even more of a problem. Anything else out of this deck, Spirit? Anything else you want to tell the collective that this story belongs to? What else? What else? What else from this deck? Anything else? Thank you. Wow, the Hermit in reverse. That's unwanted solitude. Unwanted solitude. Yeah, this feels definitely like I want to keep it vague. You know what this is about. If you're watching this, you know exactly what this is about, but I want to keep it vague. But the Hermit in reverse is about unwanted solitude. It's abandonment. But I feel like you need to turn this around. That's the first step. And make peace with the solitude. You know, the Hermit holds the light within the darkness. The Hermit is focusing. He's within a dark cave, focusing on only the light of his lamp. And the light of the lamp is the truth. The truth, the sun. Focusing on the happiness and the joy that could be. And anywhere you direct your attention, anything you focus on will eventually manifest into your life. The Hermit is about self-reflection. It's about the dark night of the soul. And if you're not familiar with Carl Jung's work, go start reading about Carl Jung and his teachings, his philosophies. Carl Jung was the first one that used that terminology, the dark night of the soul. And it has to do with alchemy. There are multiple different stages in alchemy. And the dark night of the soul is one of the stages, Nigredo. But I'll let you go, if you're interested, research about that. It's really an amazing rabbit hole to go down. There's so much information about that. Carl Jung's teachings are very, very interesting. Yeah, read a book, you know? You'll get yourself through this. You will get yourself through this. And you have a whole team of you have a whole spirit team that's got your back, that's back there cheering and rooting you on. You can do this. Let's get one final card out of this deck. Anything else out of this deck for the collective that this story belongs to? Anything else? Justice in reverse. Yeah, you feel like this is not fair. You feel like this whole situation is not fair. But it's not about fairness. No, this is about spiritual university. It's about lessons. It's about learning stuff. And some things you need to just leave it up to God. Some things you just need to leave up to God. Karma is real. Energy is real. Energy exchange is real. If somebody treats another person very poorly, or there is a situation of injustice, that will come back. The universe is always seeking balance, the yin and the yang. And if there's an imbalance in energies, the universe will figure out a way to balance that energy out. So surrender to it, release your anger, and trust that the universe will seek balance and justice for this situation. But you definitely feel like this was very unfair. This whole situation is very unfair. Okay, let's get a few cards out of the symbols deck. Justice is associated with Libra as well, and Libra is associated with the number 7. The number 7 is the 7th house on the zodiac wheel, which is all about relationships. Relationships, specifically deep ones, soul ties, stuff like that, soul contracts, deep, deep relationships. All right, what else do you have to tell the collective that this story belongs to, please? Any other words of advice or wisdom for the collective? What else? Words of advice or wisdom, Spirit? Thank you. Gratitude. The light. The Hermit. The Hermit. The Hermit has a candle. Has a candle in his lantern. Focus on the light. Try to find gratitude for what you've been through. I know that's really hard. I know that's really hard. But if you can get to a place where you can actually have gratitude for your lessons and experiences, that is Zen, my friend. That is Zen. So the two cards to come out are gratitude and water. Remember, water is about emotions. And water has reappeared in the reading here multiple times. There's water here in the pool. And I can't remember if it was the cold moon card, face your fears. I'm pretty sure it was, that talked more about water and the depths of your emotions and facing your own emotions. But I feel like Spirit is saying here to try to get to a place of gratitude for your experiences, for your emotions. Try to be more like water, more fluid, less resistance, right? Water doesn't resist. Water flows around. Yeah, be like water. Flow around this. Okay. We're going to get one card out of the Pluto, but I want to get a couple of cards out of the Healing Bones Oracle. One more shuffle. All right, Spirit, what else do you have to tell the collective that this story belongs to out of this deck? What other advice or wisdom do you have for the collective of this story, please? What other words of advice or wisdom out of this deck, please? What else? Thank you. The shoulders. Ooh, I just got tingles. Ooh. The shoulders. That's all about a burden. Burdens, responsibility, community, doing versus being, authority and aspirations. You carry a lot of weight on your shoulders. I know that's a saying, but it's actually true. In the tarot, the Ten of Wands depicts a person carrying a giant bundle of sticks on their shoulders. And that card is all about heavy burden, a heavy load. There's something that you need to release. You need to release this. You need to sort out a way to release this, and only you can figure that out. Just keep going towards what feels best for you. You know, does talking about it feel really good for you? Does going for a walk through the park feel really good for you? Does being near a body of water like the ocean or a lake feel really good for you? Does the mountains, going for a hike through the mountains, feel good for you? Does delicious food and a movie feel good for you right now? Just keep going towards, now don't be bad with this and say that, well, alcohol makes me feel good right now. Don't go overboard. But, you know, take a bubble bath, get a massage, go see a Reiki healer, do yoga. There are so many beautiful, healthy things that we can do to help ourselves feel better. And it's up to you to go towards what feels best for you to help you release this burden one stick at a time. Spirit is saying here that you have a burden, a heavy burden on your back that you need to let go of. You need to surrender. You need to release burdens. Yeah. Okay, one more card out of the Healing Bones, please. One more card. One more card out of this deck. Anything else? Thank you. No way. Oh my God, I'm in a perpetual chills. Like, my whole scalp is tingly. Look. We've got shoulders and back now. It's the same. It's the same meaning. Responsibility, burdens, responsibility, tension, weighed down, and secrets. Holy crap. You need to figure out a way to let this go. This is going to make you sick. It's going to make you ill. You have to figure out a way to let this go. Secrets, you know, yeah, you might be keeping things to yourself, not expressing yourself. And you need to let this out. Weighed down, tension, security issues. Security issues. Yeah. You know, the reason why you might be feeling so weighed down by this experience, Like the root, you remember I was talking about the root emotion? You have, like anger is a very surface level emotion, but there's a root emotion down deep within you. And it often comes from a place of powerlessness or a lack of confidence or insecurity. In this scenario, in this situation, I think talking to a professional licensed therapist would be very helpful. I mean, you can do your own stuff on the side too, like spiritual stuff. Get some spiritual books. Read up on Carl Jung. I mean, Carl Jung was extremely tormented mentally, but there are things that you're holding within you, holding inside. It's like a literal heavy burden on your back that you need to let go of here. You need to figure out a way to let this go. You need to find support. Let's see. I'm feeling like getting one more card out of Moonology. Well, no, let's go to Pluto. Pluto always tells it like it is. The Pluto Oracle is all about your shadow self, your shadow side, your darker side. What is within the shadows of your psyche. Spirit, what else do you have to tell the collective of this story about this burden, this heavy burden on their back and shoulders? I keep getting in my head that you need to go get a massage. And when you go get a massage, have them use like lavender oil. Have them use aromatherapy. Yeah, I'm getting like sympathetic pains in my upper back and shoulders now. I think, talking to somebody, I feel like Spirit right now wants you to talk to somebody, find a support group or a support team or somebody that you can really, really trust to release all these emotions and talk it out. But I think you're going to also need some physical healing, like massage therapy, chiropractic care, yoga. Oh gosh, yoga is phenomenal for releasing emotions. Yeah, you're going to just have to take it one little step at a time. One little step at a time. One day at a time. And you'll get there. But the first thing you have to do is release resistance to the experience. You have to surrender. You have to surrender to it. All right, Spirit, can we get one final card out of the Pluto deck, please? What is within the collective that this story belongs to? What is within their deep subconscious that they need to be aware of to heal and work through this pain? The doe. That's vulnerability and insecurity. That's vulnerability and insecurity. You've deep down inside, you might feel inadequate. Whatever happened to you, and I feel like it was some kind of abandonment because we got the Hermit in reverse. Whatever happened to you, this abandonment trauma really triggered your deep insecurities, your deep wounding around inadequacy. But what you've got to understand is you are precious. You are a one of a kind. There will never be, there never was, there never will be another you. Ever. You are the only you. You are so precious and unique and special to the Creator, to the universe. Your experience is helping the unity consciousness grow. What you're going through is helping the unity consciousness grow and evolve. Like, your experience is super important to the growth of the unity consciousness, the one, that all that is. And we're all part of it. We're all part of it, like fingers on a hand. You know, a finger might feel separate from this finger, but it's all connected, right? It all comes from the same hand. And what you need to understand is that the things that happened in our life are there to help us grow. And we have to surrender. We have to surrender to these experiences. You know, these lives, I say it all the time in my readings. If you're new to my channel, welcome. But if you're new to my channel, I always say, these lives are a blip in time in the grand scheme of things. When you step back, these lives throughout the entirety of the universe's existence or materialism, these human lives are just a blink and they're over. I swear to you. Go watch Jeff Mara podcast. Go watch people that have had near-death experiences. It's fascinating. Fascinating. And it helps you like really put things into perspective that these human lives are so temporary. The emotions that you're feeling right now are very temporary. It might feel like you're in it, like it's forever, but it's not. It's a blip. It's a blip in time, a drop in the bucket in the grand scheme of things. And I don't want to diminish your pain. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that your pain is invalid or extremely important or hard. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to comfort you in the sense that your feelings right now, in this moment, they are temporary. And they will pass. Just keep one day at a time dropping one of those heavy sticks, those heavy burdens that are on your back. Finding ways to focus on the beautiful things, the light in your life. Whether that's a person or an animal, like a pet, a cat, a dog, you know, a friend, a home. Maybe it's just that you have a warm coat to wear on a cold day, but finding gratitude, that's going to help get you through this too. All right, let's read the doe. Here we go, number 29. You know, another characteristic of the doe or the deer is that they're very agile. They're really capable of evading situations. I think it talks about that in here. They can run really fast and jump really high. They're very agile creatures. The doe, meaning receptivity, birth, and new beginnings. Perhaps the gentlest of all creatures, the doe moves in silence and serenity. She is at one with the world around her, drinking in each sound, each movement, and disturbance, especially those so minuscule they are virtually undetectable by the human ears. Her receptive nature enables her to navigate the surrounding environment with precision. If doe energy is present in your reading, you too would be wise to observe. Process and receive your environment. There may be many things in your life that are shifting. A new cycle is being born, A new beginning is emerging. Whatever this fresh start means for you, welcome it with the gentlest and serenity of the doe. Welcome it. It says, whatever this fresh start means for you, this new beginning means for you, welcome it with the gentleness and serenity of the doe. That's a lot like releasing resistance, if you ask me. It is likely the cycle of death that preceded this moment was intense. The cycle of death that preceded this moment was intense. That's obvious here with all these swords. So it's likely the situation you experienced before this death was intense. So take heed of its necessity. Take heed of its necessity, though, especially if the whitetail is also present in this reading. Now, as the light returns to overtake the darkness, we got the hermit and we got the candle. Now, as the light returns to overtake the darkness, be open to receiving it. If you've ever crossed paths with a deer in nature, you know how sensitive they are to even the slightest disturbance in their environment, be it a sound, a smell, or sight. You also know how quick they are to flee the scene. Sometimes opportunities are also fleeting, and if we aren't ready to act when they present themselves, we can miss out. However, there is also value in knowing when to let something simmer for a while to reveal its true nature. Which of these is necessary for you now? And here, after the definition of the doe in this deck, we have a candle, which talks about the light. Now, as the light returns to overtake the darkness, be open to receiving it. I hope this reading was helpful for you. I really do. I'm sending you all the love and healing energy in the world.